How are you?
There we go. I'm good. And yourself?
I'm good, thank you.
Good, holding up okay?
Yeah, despite everything, I'm holding up pretty well, I think.
Yeah. So just can you just give me a little bit of a timeline, I guess, of your day of just from the beginning. Your mom said that you felt some rumblings in your house that wasn't too severe. So how far are you from where everything originated?
Yeah, so in the town where I am, we're pretty far away, as we're in the mountain region of Ecuador, and where the earthquake was is in the coastal region. And the epicenter was quite far, I'd say 10 hours away. And then around 7 o'clock, because it gets dark here around 6, I was in my room just kind of checking things on Facebook and that, when I started feeling the ground rumbling. And at first I thought, well, it's nothing because we've had earthquakes before and where there's been considerable shaking, and I thought it's just another small quake, it's nothing. And then it started to get quite a bit bigger, as my mother had explained, and you could see our whole house was shaking. And I had noticed as I was in that it shook more than usual. So then I started thinking, well, I mean, it could be a bigger earthquake. So I did get on the floor just in case. And then it lasted for, I'd say, maybe 15 seconds and stopped. And then our parents were saying, like, did you feel that? It was quite large. Like, that's the largest one we've ever felt here. And
That's
didn't,
the people that you
but
live with?
yes, my host parents had came and
Okay.
told me, "Did you feel it?" And I said, "Yeah, like it was pretty big." And they said, "Well, us too, like never before. There's never been one that we felt that much here." And they kind of didn't make a big deal out of it. And it was only an hour later when I went on WhatsApp that I seen hundreds of messages from my friends who live in these coastal towns who were saying that it was over there, in fact, a huge earthquake and everything was destroyed.
Of the areas that were hardest hit, were you ever in these areas throughout your time
Oh
in
yes,
Ecuador?
yes,
Had you?
yes,
Okay.
yes. And when we went on our first trip, we went to this town called Mompiche, which was around 12 hours away, also in the same province where the epicenter of the quake was. So I imagine there was some considerable damage there as well. And there was actually this other town that there's a few of my friends that lived there. We had went there for around 5 days near the beginning of the year, and she had sent us a photo of the hotel we had all stayed in, and it was completely destroyed, the hotel we had stayed in. So it's just
Okay.
a good thing that we weren't there when it happened, or it didn't happen
Now,
when we were on that trip.
Now, are all of your friends the Rotary students that you speak to that are in your WhatsApp group and such? Has everyone been accounted for? Have you guys kind of done like a head count to make sure that everyone's okay and everyone's kind of in check?
Yeah, we had asked originally, like even the ones who weren't in the affected area, because we were really worried and concerned if everyone was okay, and they were saying they're fine. But there was a few that for a while we had no contact with them because there was no internet, because the cell towers and everything had gotten destroyed. But eventually we figured out that everyone was okay, and most of all of their families were fine as well, and none of them had gotten injured. They were all perfectly fine.
Okay. And so, what's for you being the distance that you're away? Is there any kind of relief efforts being arranged in the town that you're in, the city that you're in, where they're sending people? Are they asking to gather supplies to help out these affected areas? What's kind of the mood or what's going on right
Yeah,
there where you are?
the Ecuadorians in the news were actually saying that this is like they're really surprised because all the areas that weren't affected, like the whole of Ecuador, is really affected by this, and everybody in the whole entire country is coming together to help for this. Like here and everywhere in the streets and with my Rotary Club, and even just people from their houses are asking for donations, and every day there's several trucks of like food, medicine, clothes, and several supplies that are being sent to these towns. But the problem was that because of the infrastructure being completely destroyed for a while, and I think as of now, this is still a problem. There's several of the supplies that are having a hard time to get there. They're saying because of the infrastructure being destroyed, and they're having to be guarded by the military because there's also people that are profiting from this to rob the supply trucks that are supposed to be going to deliver the aid.
Mhm.
But yes, in the city here with my Rotary Club, we had they're trying to collect some money to eventually, in a month or so, a month and a half, once things kind of calm down a bit, they wanted to get some architects and any volunteers who wanted to go over there and to help rebuild things. And we're also going around at my school and collecting supplies to send over there. And but yes, the whole of Ecuador has come together for this. And for me, I was affected more, I'd say, psychologically, because I couldn't stop like thinking about all my friends, and not just them, but me being Ecuadorian now, all my fellow Ecuadorians who are now in this situation. And I felt that even though we were helping, giving the food, it wasn't enough. And I wanted to go actually, or find a way for me to go over there and help out. But the Rotarians are saying that, I mean, at the moment, that's not really the best idea because of how unstable things are.
Okay. Now, is there anything else that we haven't touched on that you'd like to speak about? How about with your parents? When your mom got in contact with you, was
Yeah,
she kind of freaking out a little bit?
yeah, she had asked me originally there was an earthquake, and then I said yes. We weren't in the affected area, but so I'm fine. But it's the situation from some of my friends and everyone else is really bad. And then I had made a post, even though I wasn't in the affected area, just so everyone would know that I was all right and everything was okay. Like, I had some of my friends, as they were giving details of what was happening with them, there was a few of them that have lost their houses and were just sleeping in their gardens. And one of my friends, she had said she was in the center away from her family, I guess, just doing something while it happened. And she said I had to walk back through all these destroyed streets and people crying everywhere for their missing or dead loved ones, and electric cables just hanging everywhere, and just complete destruction, finding out that your neighbors have died, and just things like that that no person should have to live through. And
Right. Okay, well, thank you so much for taking the time. I really do appreciate it.
no, thank you.